It's weird to know this is the last Attack on Titan Shingeki no Kyojin chapter we're ever gonna get, and just know that this storyline that we've been living through for so many years at this point is finally concluding. And granted, I know we still have the anime, we have plenty of time to enjoy stuff, and it's not like it's going away, but yeah, I mean, not to get too sappy, but like this manga and anime, it's made a huge impact on my life, and it's just it's legitimately probably my favorite. I don't know. I guess it's my favorite manga anime ever created. Just saying quite a bit, and it's just I don't know, just making this a monthly habit of reading the chapters and getting excited for the shows, and just going through all the subreddits, the forums, and the memes and everything, and just it legitimately like has meant a lot to me, and it's kind of emotional to like be at the end here. So yeah, a lot to process right now. I just read the final chapter, and it's yeah, it's kind of a doozy. I'm going to. I went into this blind. I saw all the leaks and everything popping up, and I was like, "Yo, I can't look at any of it. I'm not gonna spoil it." I haven't read any of like the forums, so I don't even know if people in general are liking or hating this. But I'm just gonna be completely unbiased and as raw as I can right now. So yeah, we start off with a flashback in I guess Pat's that Aaron had with Armin. So we start off with them as kids, just kind of talking about basically the events of what's going on and everything that's happened, including like their last time meeting as people and fighting, and basically Aaron's plan. So we finally got Aaron's perspective and plan. And what was it? What was his ultimate goal? Or like, did he go crazy? Did he just think genocide was the right answer? Like, what was it? It was he wanted to make paradise, or at least the heroes of paradise, I guess heroes to the world, by stopping this basically unstoppable, or at least unseemingly unstoppable threat that Aaron had created, and showing that these people sacrifice themselves for the rest of the world, and shows that they're not just some devils. There's legitimately people who just don't who like care for the world, and that aliens are not evil inherently. Like they can help and everything, and just raising them as heroes. And yeah, I mean everyone's been talking about this. I mean, for the last like 50 chapters, it's been like, what's Aaron's actual plan? Honestly, like I'm okay with this. Like, I know this might be a mixed thing because you can maybe find some flaws or some holes in the logic that was used, but legitimately, I think him going to an extreme, but to a way that ultimately would be better in the future, and hopefully bring people, I guess, together in a way, ultimately, and basically just stop Eldians from being painted as villains. Like Aaron didn't want to murder every other race. He just wanted it to be in a way where the Eldians would not be painted as devils. And I guess there's more beauty in that than just saying like, look, there's bad and good, and it's like it's us or them. It's more of like we can come together, kind of like what Armin and like pretty much everyone wanted to do through discussion. But Aaron was like, I don't want to say realistic because I don't agree with it, obviously, but he was a little more pessimistic about all of it, and saying that, like, the only way for us to even be renowned, or people to believe us or trust us, is for us to actually be the ones to save humanity as a whole. And it's crazy because Aaron reveals so much during this. Okay, so first of all, 80% of humanity died. Everyone was talking about, like, how long has the rumbling been going on? Like, did he destroy a few cities just to make it seem unstoppable? Dude, he killed 80% of humanity. The fuck? Like that's like in the real world, like Asia, Europe, Africa, Australia, like everything on that side of the world destroying, only like North America surviving. Like that's insane. And obviously it looks like it seems like there's a few races who survived, or a few different countries. So obviously some people from a different country survived. So he maybe pick and choose some cities from some places and left. I don't know how it works, but regardless, like, yeah, that's a big heavy drop. He wasn't like, yo, I did some horrible stuff. Like I destroyed a couple cities with a lot of people. No, he wiped out almost everyone. And holy shit, dude, that's fucking insane. He also revealed a few things, like this is the future he saw when he touched Historia in the medal ceremony, and all this floats him. And he was talking about like how fucking insane and how crazy that made him, and just like, because he didn't see anything as time anymore. He did like the Dr. Manhattan thing where he's like, I saw all this at once. It just all came to me, and it's like, I've been going insane. There's so much to like, and he said like, I'm following paths. Like I'm following the path that was set out to me, and this is ultimately all leading to this goal. Except for one thing where, and it's a little ambiguous, I guess, and confused. It shows the smiling Titan, I think, going and it's killing Aaron's parents, but it, I guess he made it seem like the only thing that he legitimately changed from Ymir's or whatever his paths, his goal was saving Armin, which is beautiful in itself because he saved his best friend. But it hits even heavier when you think of what Midnight Sun, the episode where Eren is fighting for Armin to survive over Erwin, and I don't know, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's heavy stuff that like legitimately there was one time he broke what his driving goal was, and it was just to save his best friend. And then he drops it on us that Mikasa was the key to all of it, the one to stop all of this. And I know people are mixed about Mikasa as a character and whatever, right? But yeah, like she wasn't just, because it's always felt like she was kind of important and then just kind of like a side character who was just there to like hype up Eren. But no, she was ultimately the key. And why? It's because he drops on us that Ymir loved King Fritz. That, and they don't go too deep into it, but like, despite him being the one who murdered her family and did all these horrible things and torture her and everything, she was in love with him in a really sadistic, horrible way. And in essence, what it was implied is that Eren was the founding Titan. He became King Fritz, and Mikasa loved him. But despite the pure love that she had for him, she was one who ultimately ended him because he was evil or doing the, performing like a horrible act. And she's basically representing Ymir, because the whole point is that despite Ymir just getting all these powers, she was still a slave to King Fritz, or she still was powerless against him. Even though in reality she could demolish like humanity, she just wasn't able to. So Mikasa was able to overcome that and be the one to kill the one she loved because of the horrible things he did, despite her like complete and utter like love for him, which is all crazy and insane. But like I kind of love that because it gives Mikasa's arc a great conclusion. Because yeah, I know she was the one who killed Eren and she was always in love, but there was like a deeper meaning to that where her love and her obsession with Eren actually meant something. It was like pretty much the central theme, or like the driving force, which is the reason that now Titans are extinct. And Eren drops on us that he loves Mikasa too, like so much that like he doesn't want her to ever forget about him. He was scared. One, he was scared of dying. So seeing that, him actually admit that is insane. And two, just he, it's kind of funny because Armin's like, yo, Eren, like talking about the time where he dissed Mikasa when she basically admitted her love to him. And Armin's like, yo, so like, do you think she can move on? And he's like, yo, I don't know. And Armin just socks him in the face. And it's great because like the one panel there is the only like kind of slapsticky panel in the whole chapter. And it's just, one is like payback because Armin's like, yeah, I don't forget you like hitting me and like punching me and beating me up. But also like, then Eren just basically blabbers like probably the most uncharacteristic thing we've seen of him ever, where he's just like, yeah, like I love Mikasa so much, and it's like I don't want her to ever hear what I'm saying, but like, yeah, I don't really want her to move on, even though I know she should, because like I love her and she's everything to me and everything, and I wish I could still be alive to live with her. So like, fuck, that's oof, that's a big drop right there. And I know Eren and Mikasa ships have been whatever all over for pretty much the whole series, but yeah, I mean, it's officially said that, I mean, they loved each other and they knew it, but the key to ending it all was Mikasa overcoming that love to stop him. In editing this, I just wanted to go back to clarify a point, just to make it extremely clear that the Ymir and King Fritz thing, the love whatever connection story that Isayama went for, it's really unsettling and tasteless. And easily the worst part of this chapter for me and probably for everyone. My thoughts on the Mikasa Eren thing are just going off of that being fact and that being the story thing. But I think I just want to make sure it was clear that like I really didn't like that aspect of it, and I feel like I kind of brushed over that in my initial thoughts. So yeah, then Aaron's like, yeah, I'm gonna erase these memories now, Armin, and you're gonna get them back when you kill me, which is very bleak, but that's how it is. So then we flash back, and Armin's lying down and wakes up, just same way that we've seen a lot of times where someone wakes up from a dream, kind of implying that everything has been past, or people have been getting memories, and maybe they've been getting erased, and all these dreams that they kind of remember or forgot, just dreams or paths that they've had in conversations. Also forgot to mention that like during that flashback or that path scene with Armin, it's really well done where like they start off as kids and they slowly age through each of the panels, and all through that Eren is taking Armin around to basically see volcanoes and oceans and pretty much everything that they talked about as kids, which is just a nice little touch. So yeah, Armin wakes up and everyone's alive again. All the Titans are John, Connie, Gabby, everyone turned into a Titan. All the other Eldians, they're back. I mean, the worm thing, it's disappeared. Everyone who was a shifter is back to human form. Eren's gone, and yeah, everyone's safe. And everyone at that time is basically realizing, because they all get those like memories from Eren. And it's kind of funny to think if maybe Eren in some alternate timeline sat down with every Eldian and made a story and told them the story. But I guess it's implied that only Mikasa and Armin were the ones where he had like one-on-one with, and he basically kind of flooded those memories to everyone, or at least gave them context for what he did. And everyone immediately realized like, holy shit, yeah, Eren's the hero who saved us all. It also explains like the cabin scene with Mikasa and Eren, where that I guess actually happened or was in paths. It's just that Eren erased that memory from Mikasa until now. So I'm guessing it's implied that she got that back. Because when she walks up to Armin, she's like, yeah, you remember now too? And it's also like, did Mikasa even forget that? It's like almost implied that she already remembered all that. Like, she already knew that, which is the reason she ended up killing Eren. But regardless. So John and Connie are alive, which, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm glad they're alive. And it was really sad to see him die. But in a weird way, it feels like they had like a really fitting ending and a good goodbye, and it just happened a chapter ago, so it didn't have like, I know it's been a month, but it hasn't had enough time for it to really like hit, I guess. I don't know, it feels weird that it just happened and now they're already back. But regardless, like, overall I'm like okay with that. I mean, Reiner's still alive and he's kind of looking like, holy fuck, I'm still alive. And yeah, everyone's just seeing each other again, running up and hugging, and Annie and her dad, and Gabby and Falco. And then the Marley army comes in, of course, with their guns, and it's like, oh, it's just being typical evil, being like, gonna shoot them all as now they see them humans. And then Armin runs up and it's like, yo, we're not Titans anymore. And if we were, like, we would have just, like, defended ourselves just now. Like, Titans are wiped from humanity. And then he does the thing that Eren wanted. He proclaims himself. He's like, yo, because the Marley guy's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Armin Alert. Like, I'm the Eldian who killed Eren Yeager and basically saved the world. And in all of this, like, Levi's seeing flashbacks with his old squad mates, which, like, in a weird way, they kind of imply it's, like, actually there, or, like, some Pats thing happened. They kind of have a goodbye, because both John and Connie both see Sasha, and they both exclaim. So it's like, okay, it wasn't just, like, them hallucinating. It was actually legitimately, like, probably a memory or something that went through them. And Mikasa comes out carrying Eren's head, which is just, it's still unsettling and uncomfortable, but sure. And she's like, yo, I'm a dip, because I gotta bury Eren, and like, I don't think people are gonna like that, so I'm gonna go before they steal like my boyfriend's head. So yeah, that's the end of the conflict. And then we get the inevitable time skip of 3 years, and we see Historia with her kid now, who, okay, I don't know, maybe she kind of looks like Ymir. I think that was what was implied. Maybe Ymir is finally rejuvenated, but into just having a human life, like gonna have a normal, happy upbringing, which is kind of maybe what Eren promised her in a way. But the kid also kind of low-key looks like just a mix of Eren and Historia, so who knows. But yeah, Eldia is a nation now. It's not Paradise Island, it's the Eldian nation. They have a big, strong army, and they still are fearful that when the world comes back, that people are still going to hate them, so they want to be powerful and strong enough to protect themselves, which sucks. Kind of defeats, I guess, a lot of the point, but at least you're safe for now. And it just seems like instead of just being like this low tech behind, they have like a full high tech army with like modern weaponry and everything. And they even say, they're like, yeah, Aaron was probably right. Like, people probably always want to wipe us out, but we gotta. And then they have just crowds of people around just saying, Tatakai, like we gotta fight and stuff like that. Which, I guess is the core, another central theme of the whole manga. But yeah, like you see a few aliens, like characters we've already seen. I forget their names, like the chef that loves Sasha and stuff like that. You see a few of them in the crowds where they like are not yelling fight. They kind of seem uncomfortable because they're like, like kind of over this. Like, let's just be peaceful. Even though like a lot of Eldians are still like, we gotta be like strong enough to defend ourselves or whatever. But then we see our main characters. We see John, Connie, Historia, Armin, Annie, Reiner, Peak, who are they're all just homies now. They're best buds. First of all, they all look sexy as fuck, dude. Like they got 3 more years on them, so they're all like, I guess, like mid-20s at this point. They're just looking like oof. And dude, they did. Isayama just goes like, okay, this is my one time to meme, and he just drops a bunch of memes like Reiner like sniffs a note from Historia and it's like, I love her, right? And then John's like, chill the fuck out, like she's married and you're weird as shit. And Reiner's just being weird, and I guess that's the one reason he still wants to live, because he's seeing whatever. But then John drops like the joke, he's like, damn Reiner, maybe it's not great that you're like living a full happy life. And then Reiner like calls John like a horse or something like that again, or like a horse. He's like, you're looking like something like that. But basically like getting the last couple memes that you can out of it, which very meta, but it doesn't seem too bad out of context. But yeah, it turns out these guys are now the ambassadors for Eldia with all their allied nations. And Annie is there now, being still Annie and pessimistic. It's like, is this gonna work? Like, these are like, half of us are the ones who destroyed paradise, and the other half try to fight us, and we all like, basically all of us did pretty fucked up things, or most of us, and they hated us. Like, are we really the ones to be ambassadors of peace? And then Armin drops like a really amazing quote where he's like, conflict will never end between people, and that's like the point. But the thing is that we can share our experiences, and showing that people who legitimately like hate each other, like just such a ridiculous background and past between all of us, that we've come together and we're asking for peace together as a unit. And that could change hearts, change movements, and be huge for history and just in general, like what people need to see, even if it won't wipe conflict forever, because nothing will stop that, because people are people, but it will make a big change. So I kind of love that. Like, Armin became a hero, and he's going through the path that he believes in. Like, he's still being peaceful. He still believes that people can change, or he can talk to people, I guess, right? He can talk no jutsu people, right? And he can be the one that helps just, facilitate or just guide like all this and conversation to happen in order to share experiences and everything. And they arrive in Marley. You see Levi, he's in a wheelchair now, and he has a big scar in his eye. He's just looking really beat up, but he got like grandpa vibes. He's just like, shit, like, I'm still alive. I'm the only like old person, or not even old, but like the only like original adult still alive. And he's just kind of, he actually kind of looks happy to be alive, so that's cool. But yeah, that's like the last of we see of almost all of our main characters, because then we get a flash again of like the bird imagery, where Armin is having another flashback where he was like with Annie on the boat and seeing the bird, and he's looking it through his eyes, and like, okay, one more tease of like the bird imagery. Then we go to Mikasa, where she's sitting at the grave she made for Eren, and it turns out it's the place where her, Armin, and Eren all used to sit as kids and read books about like the world and everything like that, which it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful, and it makes sense that's where she would have buried him. And she's just like looking out into the city, and she's like, hey, are you happy, Eren? Like, people are gonna come see you and everything. Like, I hope you're happy, and I wish you were here. And then a bird comes and tugs at her scarf, the same way that like Eren would, or someone would like pull on her scarf. And holy shit, to me the bird imagery was always like a bird's eye view. Like you see the whole thing playing out. It's unbiased. It's seeing the whole perspective from above. You know, you're way above, but you're seeing everything, right? All the conflict in the world, the people fighting. You're not on one side, which is like a lot of what the manga was about. Just seeing different perspectives. I'm not sure if it's implied that Eren is kind of reincarnated into the bird, or more realistically, like Eren's spirit and his essence is still watching over Mikasa, as when he pulls on the scarf, or when the bird pulls on the scarf, Mikasa is like, oh, yo, like Eren. And they do a really good job, because Mikasa definitely looks different now. She has like a longer hair and like a ponytail and stuff, but they frame it in a way where when he pulls on the scarf, Mikasa like kind of covers her face like she did when she first put on the scarf. And the shot of the panel is like from like up above, and it's exactly how she looked when Eren first wrapped it around her neck. And it's just a great parallel as like pretty much the beginning and the ending of the manga. And it's just the final thing of Eren gave her comfort, security, made her feel protected, and kind of, I guess, in a way did that to not the world, because he murdered 80% of the population, but I guess for future generations, he provided a lot of that and did that for everyone, even though Mikasa, like, probably most important to him as the one he really, really, truly loved. And yeah, and the final words, and I'm going to read this so I don't mess it up. Eren, you wrapped the scarf around me. Thank you. And yeah, that's the ending. I mean, ultimately, like, obviously the scarf is symbolism for more than just, hey, the comfort you gave me there, but the comfort and security you gave me in life. And it's I don't know, an allegory for just protecting and surrounding the world. It's surrounding maybe like the walls now. I mean, the walls are gone, but just the sense of comfort and security and just everything that he's provided. So yeah, that's the final page. And I know Yams gave the final panel away, or like showed it like a couple months back, or even like a few years back. I never looked at it. I didn't really think I wanted to, so I'm glad I kind of waited. But yeah, dude, that's the end. That's the end of Shingeki no Kyojin. It's weirdly a happy ending, because a lot of people were like, yo, okay, like everyone's gonna be dead. And don't get me wrong, like a lot of people, most people died. So it's not a happy ending, but it's a hopeful ending, which is, I guess, very much in the themes of the whole show. It's always been hope and giving humanity, like whether it be the limited scope of just the Eldians in the walls getting that little bit of hope at the end of each season, or just filling up a wall, or beating Titans, or finding some conflict, or like finding some, comfort or some kind of resolution or agreement between other humans and people, and just people coming together. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. And it sounds stupid, but like the 2,000 years ago thing with Ymir and everything, I just like, I know people said this, but like it's just funny. It's just like, yo, was Ymir like Jesus, I guess, 2,000 years ago, died and been watching over us. But yeah, I mean, the big things I guess we didn't really get was the giant worm thing. We didn't really get an explanation for that, which I'm okay about, because obviously it's implied that's the origin of the Titans, and like it's just fantasy magic elements, which like I feel like we got enough to understand. And I know some people are gonna bitch about that and be like, yo, like you didn't clearly define it and everything like that, but it doesn't really serve much purpose other than some context. And I feel like we got enough to be like, okay, like this is not sci-fi. Like we don't need a clear explanation for what this caused or how this works. It's just like, it's a fantasy story, and this magic creature is the thing that was the origin of Titans and caused stuff, and was what Ymir gave Ymir powers and fused with her or whatever, right? So I'm okay with it just kind of dying along with all the Titans, because naturally it would. But yeah, overall thoughts. Like, I know this is a longer one. I don't know. I just want to just for the history books, I just want to give everything I thought, and I don't want to leave everything. I mean, I'm looking through my notes and I think I covered everything, but just most importantly, ultimately, I'm satisfied with this conclusion. Like, I'm happy with it. I know I'm going to deep dive in some subreddits, and I know people are going to hate on certain stuff, and I know there's going to be mixed feelings, but look, just as a fan for this for a long time, someone who is deeply impacted, and someone who's been like so emotionally invested, and just like rewatches so many scenes, rereads the chapters, just spends so much time on the forums and just thinking about it and talking about it and always hyping it up. I'm happy with this conclusion. I feel satisfied. I Is there a few things that could have been better, like in this final arc? Maybe. I mean, overall, I'm okay with the final arc. I think a few chapters here and there could have been paced better or kind of had a few flaws, which I think definitely the anime could help a lot. Because like I'm hyped to see it animated because I think the anime is one of the best anime to manga adaptations ever made. So, and I know Yam still changes some stuff here and there and is very involved with the anime process. So I don't think we'll have like a final conclusion until the anime ends. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I love this story. I love the themes it goes for. I loved everything it did. I love the characters, and like I'm happy with this ending. And like I'm happy. I'm saying this straight from my thoughts, and I'm feeling really satisfied. I was scared I was gonna be kind of disappointed. Not in a negative way where I was like expecting to be disappointed, but just in like I don't know. Endings are hard, and I think it was wrapped up well. Maybe like not the most mind-boggling ending ever, but just like a pretty satisfying conclusion to all the arcs, the messages we wanted. It's fixed, it finished up the themes that we were going for. The story wrapped up nicely. We got a little bit of a time skipped, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm happy with it. I know I've said that a few times now, so. But yeah, it's crazy. It's over, and I'm happy I've been reading this and been in this process for so long. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you stuck to the end or even skipped around, like either way, I appreciate it. Definitely let me know what you think. Even if it's negative, curious why people don't like it or why people do like it or what things could have been tweaked and changed. Subscribe for more content. I'm gonna honestly be doing like now that I'm kind of in that mode, I'm probably gonna do some like Attack on Titan stuff, like just maybe ranking the arcs or doing something like that, just to talk more about it. But in general, more anime, manga kind of content coming your way. And thanks for watching. It means a lot. And Tatakai. Yeah, that's a bad ending. I'm not gonna end it like that. Just see you later, and thank you.